All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Thomas, could you please take the roll?
Mayor King.
Present.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Present.
Councilmember Postma.
Present.
Baker.
Ready to go.
Baskin. Fisher.
Present.
Pashusta.
Present.
Kelly.
Present.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Looking for a motion for item number 1, adopting the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2 is a motion approving the minutes from our June 20th, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yep.
Tom? Or I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Nothing under item number 3. Item number 4 is a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Petitions and requests. Item number 5 is a resolution approving the financing and development agreement for the first and third apartments. Thomas?
Yes, Mayor and Council. We have Susan here from Three Rivers Community Action, also with us to hopefully answer any questions you might have. But we are at the point, after several months of negotiations and working with our attorneys at Dorsey and Whitney, to draft the redevelopment agreement related to the affordable housing complex that is set to go on the east side of the post office. Including in that is a $615,000 loan at 1% from the city that's been set aside in the building fund. $300,000 grant is in the building fund set aside. $540,000 additional grant that was from an old TIF district that got decertified, and with a statute change a couple years ago allowed us to use it for affordable housing. And then a recently approved $75,000 grant to realign the existing stormwater drainage. Additional contributions will come from the Hormel Foundation for $600,000. More counties pledged $250,000, and then the HRA is providing the land that was part of a targeted area redevelopment. Again, this is a part of a $16 million plus project for 40 units. And there's many documents involved in this, for which Dorsey and Whitney just drafted a resolution that would authorize the mayor and the city recorder to sign all those documents. But basically, those documents refer to all those grant dollars noted above. There was a somewhat of a snafu in that the state statute changed on the tax rate, the state tax rate for Class 4D property. It used to be a 0.75% tax rate. Under this last legislation, it was reduced to 0.25%, which means they'll pay a third less taxes than was proposed. The $615,000 loan at 1% was backed by those tax increments at 0.75%, which means if they're paying a third less increment, there's a good chance that that full $615 at 1% would not get paid back through tax increments. But we have a minimum assessment agreement and a minimum tax increment payment agreement with Three Rivers that says whatever the shortfall is in the tax increments, because we're paying less, we will write you a check each year based on what that payment would have been. So the good news is we'll get the $615,000 at 1% back through that process. Unfortunately, our TIF plan had the potential for about $1.2 million in total increments if the valuation of the property went up. Well, again, that we could then use to capture maybe this $300,000 grant more money back on. I'm telling you that probably won't happen because the class rates being cut in a third won't pay us back anything above the $615,000. We never planned on getting any of that back because it also was a requirement that it would also be needed that the valuation of the property goes up 2% each year, which isn't a given. So again, that class rate did throw a little monkey wrench into it, but we had anticipated that potential item because it had been in front of the state for the last couple of years. Just this year, it got through. So again, I'm here to answer any questions. I'd like Susan also to come up, maybe talk to you about the groundbreaking and where they're at on the bids and all that, but and I can certainly answer questions after she gets done presenting.
Welcome, Susan. Anything to add?
Thank you. Susan Strucker, and happy.
Happy to be here to speak on behalf of Three Rivers and the first and third apartments development. Like Tom said, we've been through a lot of rounds of negotiation and just process to get this project to closing. We were funded by MHFA at the end of December, and so this is actually a pretty fast process in terms of these types of tax credit projects to get everything lined up, all the ducks in a row, to be able to get under construction this summer. So we're anticipating closing the week of the 17th. We hope to break ground shortly thereafter, before the end of July. So happy to answer any questions.
That's great. Council, any questions?
Yeah, I got a couple quick ones. In the master agreement, it says that you have to provide insurance. And maybe this is a question for Craig. Is providing proof of insurance a material and affirmative covenant in this agreement? Is it considered material?
First and foremost, these agreements are all drafted by Dorsey and Whitney, so they're not studied or within my personal knowledge on every provision. But I would say that consistent with all other similar contracts like this that we've entered into in the past, the requirement to provide insurance is a conditional requirement. So if it doesn't happen, that's a breach of the agreements. Is that what your question is?
Yeah, are you in default if you don't have adequate
Yes.
property insurance?
Yes.
Okay. Second, there's in the master agreement, it says that there, except as otherwise provided, borrower may not seek through petition or other means to have the market value for the development property reduced. And then it references something else that says the owner shall have normal remedies available under the law to contest any estimated assessor's estimated value. What does that mean?
Well, that's a balancing of the minimum assessment agreement that sets a minimum value for the property that makes sure that whatever taxes that are coming off the property are at least what we expect. If for some reason the assessor decides that this property is all of a sudden skyrocketing in value well above that, they can produce their own appraisals.
So it just establishes the floor as the starting point.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Anything else, council? Great questions, great answers. Thank you. So with that, looking for a resolution for item number 5.
So moved.
Second. Tom?
Councilmember Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
You betcha.
Fisher,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Councilmember Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Very good, and thank you, Susan, we appreciate that, and looking forward to the groundbreaking in July here. Item number 6, resolution approving the budget adjustment number 4. Tom?
The library is looking at, budget adjustment 4. Later on this agenda is the item number 8, the approval of the labor associates labor agreement with AAO organization for 2023 through 2025. As you may recall, in the 2023 budget, since we didn't have all the contracts done, we put aside $700,000 in contingency to cover the potential increase in costs for health insurance, wages, and other benefits. Now that we have this last agreement in place that hopefully council will approve, we would like to reallocate that $700,000 out of contingency and into the different departments' budgets for wages and benefits, so that those are more accurate to what the expected outcomes are going to be. The total estimated for all funds is $697,000, again, for which we set aside $700. So one option is to allocate that $700 out to the different funds, including the sewer fund that has its own user fees. What we've proposed to do is to have each fund basically use their own fund balance to balance their budget. So the library fund, sewer user fund, stormwater fund, central garage fund, and IT fund would use their own fund balance to use it to balance their budget, which means we need about $515,000 in the general fund of that $700,000 balance. Leaves about $185,000 left that we'd like to transfer to the risk management fund, because any potential PTSD settlements for health insurance are gonna come out of that fund, and as the legislation has proven in the past, this could get very expensive if we ever do have any potential PTSD required payments. So in essence, we want to use that full 700,000 up in those ways, and then use the fund balance in each fund to balance their own budgets. So basically just moving dollars around to show what the expected effects of these contracts now will cost the citizens.
Council, any questions for Tom on item number 6? If not, looking for resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
You bet.
Fisher,
Aye.
Pashusta,
Aye.
Helly,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Very good. Item number 7, approving budget adjustment number 5. Tom?
The Austin Public Library has been working on their improvement over at the facility, and in working with our facilities technician, Brian Mason, have come up with a couple additional costs they would like to use out of the fund balance of their library fund, which includes LED lighting to the tune of $21,185, and security camera system upgrade for about $12,800. The LED lighting upgrade is expected to save them about $4,000 a year. But again, there's not much contingency left, so we looked at using their existing fund balance. And their fund balance grew during the COVID years because they got their full tax levy, but didn't have the full staffing, et cetera, so the bank account kind of went up. So Julie Kleinfeld, the library director, has worked with their library board and would like to use $28,000 of her fund balance to finish these 2 projects within the library system. If council so approves, we do a budget amendment, and then she would be able to contract with these 2 entities to do the lighting upgrade and the camera.
Okay. Council, any questions? Item number 7. Look for resolution, please.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Postma,
Aye.
Baker.
Yep.
Fisher.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 8 is a resolution approving a labor contract with Austin Associates Organization for years 2023 to 2025. Greg?
Thank you, Mayor, members. This is the last of our 8 bargaining groups, essentially consistent with many of the same terms of our other bargaining groups. Years covering 2023 through 2025. Be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, seek approval.
Thank you, Craig. Council, any questions for Craig?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Postma,
Aye.
Baker.
Yep.
Fisher.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 9 is a resolution approving a maintenance agreement for Highway 105 with MnDOT. Stephen?
This is a 2-year agreement that we complete every other year typically regarding maintenance and minor patching and some snow removal that the city does on Highway 105, and then we get reimbursed from MnDOT. For this 2-year biennium, the MnDOT is proposing a 4.5% increase over previous years, and we would recommend approval.
Okay. Council, any questions?
Got more generous these 2 years.
All right. Looking for resolution for item number 10, please.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, that was item number 9. Okay. Tom?
Councilmember Postma,
Aye.
Baker.
Yep.
Fisher.
Aye.
Pashusta.
Aye.
Helly.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye. Resolution
Passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Item number 10 is a resolution approving flood hazard mitigation grant for the wastewater treatment plant project. Stephen?
One of our last major projects for flood control is at the wastewater treatment plant. It's estimated at an $8 million total project cost, and we've been working with the DNR to identify dollars available with the most recent bonding bill that was passed. Some dollars get allocated to the DNR. We apply for grants from the DNR, and then they allocate us the money. In this case, we're looking at a $4 million grant for the project, which would cover 50% of the cost. And the construction would occur sometime during this next 3-year period when we're working at the treatment plant. We'll need to go through the process of finalizing plans, getting it all bid out and everything along with that. But right now it's just a resolution indicating that we have the funds available for matching the $4 million grant. So in your backup, our available funds would come from our local option sales tax to match this $4 million grant for the wastewater treatment plant.
Excellent, thank you. Resolution, item number 10, please.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Yes.
Fisher,
Aye.
Bashusta, Hilly,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thanks, Tom. Item number 11 is a resolution approving contracts for automated vehicle location services and route optimization with funding from 2023 contingency. Stephen?
We talked about this at a recent work session and then went out and got final numbers, product numbers from a couple different companies that we were working with. Estimates came in a little bit lower, I believe, than what I presented at the work session. We're requesting $26,406.20 for CompassCom and C2 Logistics for route optimization and vehicle locating. This is just for our 11 plow trucks, 10 plow trucks that have plow routes, and then we will look to budget in the upcoming year, 2024, for some additional vehicle locating for our sweepers and some other vehicles that we have that we believe will be well utilized. So with that, we'd request this $26,406.20 to come from contingency.
Stephen, remind me what the conservative cost savings estimate was on labor for this?
I think what we provided you for backup before was more based on time. So they estimate that we'll be able to cut time of snow plowing by about 10%.
Okay.
Then there's also material savings as well and equipment maintenance, wear and tear. So there's other more difficult things, soft costs that are hard to put a number on.
Is there any summer advantages to it?
Yeah, that's where the sweeping will come into play when we budget that for 2024. We'll be able to monitor our sweepers, leaf pickers in the fall, patching. So yeah, we're looking at also trying to incorporate some summer monitoring in as well.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Looking for resolution for item number 11.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Good idea.
Fisher,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Hilly,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 12 is a resolution accepting the donations to the city of Austin. We have 9 AEDs being donated by Leona M. and Harry B. Helmsley Charitable Trust via the University of Minnesota for the police department. With that, looking for accepting that donation.
So moved.
She's like in New York here.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Yes.
Fisher,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Hilly,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tom. Item number 13 is a motion adopting a policy for employee affiliation with outside entities. If anybody needs any more from the backup, I can certainly answer any questions on that one. Otherwise, looking for a motion.
I'm wondering if we could table this to a workshop. I do have a lot of questions, and I don't really want to get into it
Okay.
all right now.
There's a
That would be
motion by Councilmember Pachusa to table it. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. We'll table that. Thank you. Item number 14 is a resolution declaring the property at 308 12th Ave Southwest hazardous structure.
So moved.
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember Postma,
Aye.
Baker,
Yep.
Fisher,
Aye.
Bashusta,
Aye.
Hilly,
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Austin.
Aye.
Resolution passes 6-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item number 15 is a series of motions granting the Planning and Zoning Department the power to contract for the removal of junk and/or legally stored vehicles at the following locations. 15A, address is 909 3rd Avenue Northwest, the Green property.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 15B, address is 1011 4th Street Southeast, the Nystel property.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 15C, 1200 4th Street Southeast, the Olson property.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, the last of these series is 15D, is address 1416 7th Ave Northwest, the McFarland property.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to citizens addressing the council. I don't see anybody unless Jason has something to say. We're good. We don't have an honorary council member. We have 3 in the queue. One I've called twice, and have now no response yet, so I might move on to the second one in the queue. So there was no comments. Reports and recommendations. Craig, is there anything?
Nothing.
City Administrator. So City Council, let's go with Laura.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Wow. Steve.
Just thanks to everybody who's working hard on Freedom Fest. I will see you out there.
The heat.
Nothing for me.
Jeff.
I have nothing other than that, so.
Paulie.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Joyce.
Nothing, thank you.
Right on. All right. Happy 4th of July to all of our citizens and council as well. So with that, I'll take a